And like I say, sometimes if I get doing something or another, most of the time I clean parts every day. I put parts in the tank in the morning, and then tomorrow, whatever was in there today, I clean, and then tomorrow when I come out, I take those out, clean them, and refill the tank with the parts, and then the next morning. And any parts that didn't get cleaned to my satisfaction will they'll be put back in there for another go. But occasionally, you know, I'll get doing something else and just totally forget about it, and you know, leave them in there for a week, and just no damage whatsoever have I experienced. Now, in order, oh, here's a part that's been cleaned, electrolysis. I cleaned that and just throwed it over there on the workbench 3 or 4 months. Yeah, it's been there for a while. And this pulley has been cleaned a long time, and you've seen it in other videos, and it's just as smooth, and there's no oil on it. It's never had any oil on it. It just come right out of the electrolysis tank. And let me show you. Let me tell you something else. But I hang this right here with the mechanics wire. Hang that in that 5-gallon bucket, about halfway down, and it's got nuts and bolts in there. And when I come up on something that I don't want to wire up individually, you know, a lot of bolts I just wire them up, like 6 of them up and down through there. But you can just put a pile of them in there like that. And I do, most of the time, I do wash these in some thinner and get all of the oil off of them, just for the oil and grease. And then throw them in this here. When I get a thing full, then I'll put that in the electrolysis tank. And then I'll take it out, water brush all of them, and the ones that didn't clean, the one that didn't make electrical contact, then I'll throw them back in there and go again. It works. Carburetors are good examples of good parts to clean. And this right here, it's a block of graphite. And early on I kind of talked about carbon and graphite, but actually it's kind of close to one and the same. And like I say, this right here is the same as that. This is just a round piece. And you can get this on, actually the easiest for us in this time period now is eBay. You can get graphite on there really cheap if you get the scrap, and that's all you want. And now you can use too much. It would be senseless to put all of this right here in a small tank. So what I do is just, well, you can see it's kind of crooked there, but it was bigger when I started with, and I'll just saw off like a 1/4-inch slab, and that's what this piece right here was. It was a 1/4-inch slice of this block here, and you can see how it's still good. It'll probably break me fooling with it. And you can see a little contamination there, and that's all they are. But you can see it has eroded away. Okay, now to explain how you erode metal. If you was not using graphite as the electrode, let's just explain it like this right here. Let's say that you was using this wrench. That's a IHCG 3171. It's a wrench. Let's say you was using this wrench as in place of the graphite. Okay, you get the same erosion if you use a file. If you use a file down in there, it's eroding this metal away. If you use a stainless steel electrode, you're eroding that away. If you, it's electrical contact, electrical flow. But you put this down in there, and this is the positive, and I'm not going to get into electrical flow and all of that in this video, but this will start eating away, and then the impurities that are there, you will be left with a big old crustacean. Mr. Pete can confirm in his video how that looks. Just a big mass of rust. Okay, when you change that from the positive over here to when you decide to clean this, to restore it, when you put it over here to be cleaned, then you're removing the iron oxide. You're removing the rust. And when you remove the rust, it will expose what you had left as this graphite electrode. It ate away. If you put this over in the metal to be cleaned, you don't put no metal back on it. You just clean what's there, and most likely this right here would look like Swiss cheese. I'm thinking maybe. I've never did it on a graphite, but I have did it on tools and different kind of electrodes early on. Yes, I know what you was thinking. You was thinking, he don't know what he's talking about. He has no idea nothing about no tools. Well, I do. I clean tools almost every day. Every day. All of these here happens to be, I think all of this amount right here, I think is international, if I'm not sure. No, that's something else there. But anyways, tractor wrenches and such, and all of these was cleaned in the electrolysis tank. Oh, I clean a lot of tools. An untold amount of tools do I clean. And all of these right here were sprayed with some kind of clear, I think this was, it's some kind of clear lacquer, I think that was, we used on this batch. But they just have clear on them, just to make them look pretty. I did go ahead and clear these. But as you can see, there's no metal gone other than what was lost. Let's see. Like this part here. When you clean this part, there is going to be some really deep pits in there because the rust is quite deep on this part. It was rusted really bad. And I think, well, that wrench there was rusted really bad before I cleaned it, and you can only see the wrench in its rusted condition. You don't put any metal back on them. Is the point I'm making. But also you don't remove no metal. Now, quickly, not to have such a long video. Turning parts black. You will find that the better grade hardened steel will turn black. If this was rusted, these right here, if them was rusted and you put them in an electrolysis tank, they would turn black. It's really hard. It's hard metal, whatever they're made out of. It's different metals turns black. So, and you know, if somebody says, hey, you put it in some vinegar, you put it in this, you put it in that, you know, and it'll take that off there. Well, you know, I guess you can. I'm not going to. That's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, it's superwashing. Somebody said, "Oh, what do you do? What do you do with the dangerous chemicals that you have left?" Well, this right here is a superwashing soda. And I have to use this in my laundry to get all of the grease and the grime, especially on my knees. It's a really good washing product. So, you know, households all the way across America, at least, you know, uses it in their daily laundry. So, you know, if it's any more dangerous after I get done with it, it would only be because I do add some iron to it. Now, that brings us to another subject, another category, let's say. Same subject, different category. Is, well, I tried it. The comment would be, I tried it and it don't work. It could, and there's reasons for that. And it don't work for everybody, because some places where you live at, you have so much sulfur in your water that, you know, you can't even drink it. It tastes so bad. Some people has a water softener on their system. Adds whatever it does, takes something out. My local water, city water here, I think it's copper. We get a warning occasionally about too much something or other in our water. So, you know, that may be a benefit to me cleaning parts. It may add to the contamination of the water. And that's all you're doing. When you add the washing soda to the water, that's all you're doing is adding a contaminant. You're not making a you don't get a chemical reaction. Hydrogen embrittlement. Hydrogen embrittlement. Look it up, study about it, know about it, and kinda, I would think, I used to one time I owned a business that where I built extended front forks, front ends, Springer design, up to 30 inches extended. I actually had a business to build those, and built many Springer front ends through the years, and had them chrome plated. And that was a big concern of me, was the embrittlement of the metal in the chrome plating process. And this is the same thing, only different. And one of the years ago, I actually wanted to know about this many years ago, that I wanted to learn about this process so much that I actually went and got a job in a bumper straightening plant and worked on the bumper straightening for several months, and then on the plating line. And once I had learned what I wanted to learn, then I quit and went on somewhere else. But it was totally a job for education, and it was quite educational. I will tell you that, as far as electrolysis in a factory setting, and what we're doing here is just in a hobby setting. The electrodes, putting them around the tank. You actually can have too many electrodes. You want the this size right here. 2 of these is ample for a 5-gallon bucket. And when you get too big of a electrode surface, it actually can build up some heat, and it has a defeating purpose. It don't work as good. It's it's out of proportion, the system is. So, you know, a couple electrodes in a 5-gallon tank, about, you know, 10 inches long, you know, 1 inch by 1 inch, or 2 inch by 2 inch, you know, about a 1/4 inch thick or something, you know, 1 by 1. Even if you had 1 by 1 by 1/4 by 10 inches long and you put 4 of them, you know, that would probably work. But you can get too large of a surface. Also, you can operate at too high of amps, and actually heat and amps and time is what causes the hydrogen embrittlement. And hydrogen embrittlement, look it up, don't quote me on it, but it's you know, it's like hydrogen in the metal and it weakens it. It's kind of, it's something going on in there that you can't see. And on the process that we're using here, just like this part right here, if you and I do know some persons that are actually using a welding transformer for the current, and they can put a part in there and literally turn it on, and the reaction, the bubbling action is so much that they can evaporate a half of a 55-gallon drum in a day. I mean, it's a violent reaction, and it's just too much. And at that point, when you're putting that many amps in there and generating that amount of heat and leave it in there for an extended period of time, then you will have a part that probably has hydrogen embrittlement in it. And the factory setting to remove hydrogen embrittlement, you know, you'd put it in an oven and bake it, and it drives the hydrogen out of the metal. Look it up. Look it up. It's that's a really basic explanation, so really look that up. And the same thing, a part like this right here, with the amount of amps that I use, check the video backwards, the amount of amps that I use and the amount of surface area and the time limit that I leave this in there, and I take it out of there and just leave it on the workbench for, well, this has been, like I say, it's been done a long time. So at this point, there is no hydrogen embrittlement in this part. Just times went by. It dissipates. And the hydrogen gas that everybody, the most comments on anyone's electrolysis tank rust removal videos will be, oh, it's dangerous, you're producing hydrogen, you're making hydrogen gas. Well, the point being with the rust removal, the desired way to do it is to produce less hydrogen, not more. Even these little hobby hydrogen things that was a fad a couple of years ago, where you could run your automobile on a little hydrogen generator out there underneath the hood, that was kind of short-lived. You know, there's no reason not to know about it, but you know, it was doomed for being unsuccessful on the get-go, because you just, even trying your best to use all of the materials and the different chemicals and the volts and amps to try to produce hydrogen and capture it, to save it, to make an engine run. Oh, it's well, I question, do you know anybody that's actually mowing their grass with a hydrogen generator on their lawnmower? I'll just leave you with that. I would actually travel to see it. Be interesting, you know. What else was, should have took some notes. Just a simple connector, you know, good solder joints, electrical, and you connect one electrode, just daisy chain them around. Like I say, I do have that engine block out there I'm going to put in the tank in a few days. Probably won't be no video about that because it's just unwarranted, you know. It's just the same thing over and over again. If there's any questions, leave a comment. And to leave this video, I would enjoy the video if Mr. Pete would actually, in his manner, his way of teaching, would actually revisit his electrolysis tank using the graphite electrodes, just a smaller size, and with patience. This is not a fast process. Sandblasting. If you I actually worked for a company where I actually had a sandblasting crew. You know, you buy the sand by the ton, you know, you rent a big old air compressor, semi-truck size, even up to that size project. So I do know about sandblasting, and I do know about all of the damage that sandblasting does to a metal part. So I don't prescribe to sandblasting as a daily way to clean metal. You know, it has its place, but it's few and far between. And so if Mr. Pete would actually I guess it's I'm kind of asking for a revisit, because you know, I do it every day, and I find success with it, and it's so easy and so good. I'm concerned that someone would be doing it without the same success. I hope I said that correctly. From here on the East Coast to Arkansas. Oh, the temperature of the tank. It actually does work better if your tank's warm. Don't have to be hot, just warm. When you test the water, if it's warm to your hand, it will work better, do better. And like I say, just hook you up a tank and run it about you know, like 6 or 8 amps. You know, don't overdo it at all. Just hook the tank up, put it on about, say, 6 amps, and you know, go have supper. You know, eat breakfast tomorrow, and you know, sometime tomorrow evening, look at your part. I'm trying to remember comments is what I guess I'm trying to do here. That's and let me tell you too now. Wait a minute before I go. Let me tell you before I go. One of the first comments is going to be left is clean them parts with molasses. Well, a box of this washing soda is, you know what, $3 or something over at the Walmart. All of our grocery stores has it in our area. I mean, this washing soda is not a. It's a common product. Somebody says, well, put you some soda in the oven and bake it for 2 hours. Well, when you do that kind of stuff, you're only adding to the cost of what you're using, and you're not ending up with the same product. You're going to tell me, yes, you end up with the same. Actually, you don't. There's temperatures, time constants in the production process. It's not the same product. But somebody's going to leave a comment, the first or second, and say, oh, put them parts in a jar of vinegar. Well, do you know how much a gallon of vinegar is? Same way about the different acids. And I know what you're going to say. You're going to say, well, try that Evapro Rust. Well, you know, I done did that. There's not going to be very many things, and I hope that you do leave I really do hope you leave a comment for me to try something that I haven't tried, and I tried and it's more successful than what I'm doing. Believe me, I'm not trying to say that there's not anything better. It's just I haven't found it to be better. The cost, you know, like I say, a handful of washing soda is just pennies, literally pennies. And also, just take my word for it. I'm not going to. I don't see it, but you should know how much everything you do in your shop costs. You actually, it's just good business to know how much things cost that you do. Just like that Evapro Rust, to do a complete engine with that stuff, would cost you more than an engine's worth. And with this electrolysis tank, the 2 or 3 handfuls of washing soda I put in there, and the electrical cost, and yes, I do have a kilowatt meter. I disconnected it so that I could show it to you, but I don't see it. Just take my word for it. I've got one, and I have checked how many kilowatts that my tank actually uses in a 24-hour period. I do know them numbers, and it's just good business to know how much things cost you to do. So. In that saying, of all the different processes, just like molasses, they say, oh, you know, put that engine block in a tank of molasses. Well, even if you use the food grade, if you go down here at the feed store and buy a 25-gallon drum of molasses to put that engine block out there, well, it's going to cost too much, you know. And even muriatic acid, you know, swimming pool stuff. You know, a gallon of that, you put it in a big tank and you clean the engine block and you take it out, and before you can do anything to it, it's done already rusted back again. Plus, you've still got the acid residue on the engine, and at that point, you have to get rid of that acid. And the question arises is, well, how do you get rid of the harmful chemicals that's left in this electrolysis tank? Well, so far I've not had to get rid of any. One of the first tanks that I built, I just kind of felt like that it was getting too dirty and I should clean it out. So I did clean that one, and what I've done is just put that whole amount of liquid in a cut-off 5-gallon drum, left it set in the sun, and it evaporated. The part that was left was no more than a small, well, it was just none, just maybe like a coffee cup full of residue, and you know, I just put it in the trash, and the trash man hauled it off. It was no more harmful than washing my clothes. Fun in the shop. From here on East Coast, Arkansas, Shop Dog Sound. Leave a comment now.